Wisconsin became part of the Union on May 29, 1848. America's Dairyland, home of Culver's, Leinenkugel, Summerfest, and the Green Bay Packers. Birthplace of Gene Wilder, Liberace, Frank Lloyd Wright, Georgia O'Keeffe, Chris Farley, Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer. UFO sightings happen on a daily basis. It has more haunted locations than it does bars. The devil himself created a playground tucked into its forests. For these reasons, and many others, America's Dairyland is also America's Scary Land.
All right, welcome again to another great probing of America's Scary Land. I am joined by my cohort, Jacob.
That's me.
I am Nick, and with us tonight is Aaron.
Hello.
I like that you waved at the mic.
I did.
You know?
Yes.
It's waving to everybody out
natural.
there.
Yeah. This is a first time for me, so I'm gonna, get this Miller High Life going, calm down the scares.
Oh, tonight was a fun night.
We sure had a fun night tonight. We'll get into it in a short little bit here. Just we air out, not even air out, but we'll make with the pleasantries at the beginning here, and then we'll get into tonight's probing.
Yeah. How you been, Nick?
Yeah, I've been.
You been? Yeah.
I've been.
Okay. So welcome to What Would Booze Do?
What would booze do?
This is the fun segment of the show where I asked Nick one of his famous Facebook questions that he posts, and then he answers them because, like a little bitch, we never hear his side of the story. So the one that I picked today was a poll that you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't even vote on those either.
So the question was, what do you think the Loch Ness Monster really is?
Plesiosaur.
You ruined it.
Aaron, did you vote on that poll?
I do not believe so. I did not.
So the choices were, what do you think? I just wanted to shut Jake down right away. I usually throw what would booze do to a guest if they're here, so I apologize. So yeah, the question, salt look at the poll question was, what do you think the Loch Ness Monster really is? Plesiosaur, like a
dinosaur. Yep.
Or was it evil?
It's like a Kraken.
Yeah, evil sea monster.
Yeah, I would definitely not say the Kraken part.
No,
definitely.
The picture I used on it was a Kraken.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
I weirdly found the same picture that it is our fucking shower curtain upstairs.
Huh. Yeah, no, I definitely have to jump on the whole dinosaur part of that.
I'm thinking it's a plesiosaur.
I believe so.
That's what I have to go with on that. So
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm glad you pulled out a poll. I was waiting for you to pull a poll out for once.
You've thrown up a couple, so it's been
It's been my fun Friday to do. Like, I look forward to making the polls on Friday. I look forward to all the posts now. Like, I've gotten to a point where they're pretty scheduled.
Yeah.
I do schedule them ahead of time, but I like what we've got so far. We got the Monday Mary Fuck Kills. Sorry, Giorgio, you're dead, though.
Nobody likes him.
I love Giorgio, but the options that were given to me on that choice, when you asked me...
I'm not saying it was fair.
But it was aliens. Yeah, and, if you've been following on Facebook, you've seen all the different posts we got, so it's fun. So, now that we got the pleasantries out of the way...
down to the nitty gritty.
Well, actually, there's another pleasantry we should do before
Picked
we...
up the nit and the grit. What's up?
we should, Aaron's our second guest of
he is.
He's
the second guest we've had in studio, depending on the chronological order.
Yeah,
of things.
I'm not really worried about chronological order right now.
Hey, guess what? We did record these in order.
In recording order, Aaron is the second guest we've had, and now I'm going to just mentally tell you every time we have a guest, they're X, Y, and Z.
Just so people are aware, this isn't live.
Yeah.
Just for confusion.
Yeah, we don't record this previously in the week. It's now July.
2017.
And you're probably listening to this, my gather would be, I think, January or December timeframe.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Or if you've waited and not listened every week, it could be fucking 2021 when you're listening to this for the first time.
Are they listening to this in the trenches?
The coming robot wars.
The Trump-China war that's going on.
So, as we've asked other guests, on the Boschel scale of believability, a very scientific scale we've developed, 1 to 10 scale. 1 is you don't believe in any of this hoo-ha, and 10 is you've been probed by aliens. Where do you fall?
That's the spectrum. You don't believe, or you've been probed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Because
gotcha.
if you've been probed, I guarantee you don't not believe.
Or you can't remember. I mean, that's what happens with probing.
This is also true. I mean,
We'll get probing into that at some point too.
oh yeah, probing on the probins. Yeah. So where do you fall on that scale? Where would you think? It's kind of.
I would say, yeah, I definitely have to say right around a 6 or a 7.
6 or 7?
I definitely believe, but there's still some skeptics part of my belief that is not really true, I guess you would say.
Well, and yeah, we were kind of talking. You do want to believe, but you also find it very easy to discredit things.
Yes, definitely.
So-
Yes, yep.
He's my kind of people.
Yeah, because he sits, right underneath you.
Hey,
On the Boschel scale. On the
Hey.
Boschel scale.
Usually where I want my people.
On the scale. Speaking of the Boschel scale, as it's been mentioned in previous...
Buy the shirt.
Well, buy the shirt if they're out yet.
Yeah, they're probably somewhere.
Big news on my front for the Boschel scale.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm so jealous.
I officially have moved up in the scale. My paranormal cherry has been popped. I was at a bonfire.
I'm going to preface this by saying I'm angry because I wasn't there.
I invited Jake 3 times. He's like, "Oh, my gas tank is empty." I don't know if he meant his car or just his energy level, but it could have been both.
I didn't want to put pants on.
That's fair.
I was home alone. It was a nice night.
Yeah.
That sounded dirtier than I planned it to be.
Well, you're a dirty boy.
I shower.
I witnessed 2 UFOs in the sky, and I've already annoyed several people with this story. So I'll give you the abridged version. I was at a bonfire for our good friend Randall Stewart. If you don't know who Randall Stewart is, every episode you've listened to, you've heard his voice. Randy is our announcer. He is the gentleman who leads you into the America's Scary Land with his soothing, creepy, awesome, well-done intro voice. So I was out at Randall Stewart's farm in Broadhead. He was back in town for a couple weeks. We're having a big old, I say bonfire, but I'm talking it's the type of fire where you need a tractor to stoke.
It looked like Burning Man.
Yeah, so
Pictures.
Randy's dad would, twice he just drove across the field in the tractor. We just, we were probably an eighth of a mile away from the farm, and you just see the tractor headlights just coming slowly across the field, and he gets to the fire and he just pushes this big ass stump in there and just pushes all the brush. I mean, it was one of those type of fires, so it was a field fire. And I'm standing there and I'm talking to some people, chit chatting with friends, and I look to my left and the fire's directly on my left, and I look and I'm like, man, those are some bright ass embers. And I was like, but they're not moving like fire embers. This is really weird. So I step forward so the fire's not in my straight on view, so I'm not looking through the fire. I see 2. Now everyone's seen airplanes at night, and I've seen airplanes and aerial things in the night sky that I've always been like, oh, that's a plane. I'm like, oh, it's a UFO. No, it's a fucking plane. I can see how it's moving in the night sky. It's a plane. And everyone also has seen planes in the sky, and they're aware of each other in airspace. And when you see a plane in the sky and you see 2 of them, they're a good distance away from where your perspective is. They're a good chunk of distance away. These 2, now they were too far away to even make out shapes, but they were pretty bright lights. And the best way I can describe it is if you hold a ruler up to the night sky to try to measure that star is 7 inches from that star, for reference. They started out at about a foot apart, and they were going towards each other, and when they passed over each other, less than an inch in between them. I'm like, those are not airplanes. There are no terrestrial airplanes that would pass that fucking close to each other. They passed, and about 3 to 5 seconds later, they just disappeared. And I was like, okay. I was like in panic, not panic mode, but I was like, do I take a photo? Do I take a video? Do I take a photo? Do I take a video? I didn't even think about like, hey guys, look, UFOs. None of that crossed my mind. And then after it happened, I was like, well, shit, no one's going to believe me. Maybe Randy, because I know that he had told me that he's seen some goofy shit out there before. But I was like, no one's going to fucking believe me. So what did I do? I started texting Jake.
Hi.
But I had to preface it with, Jake, don't take this with a grain of salt. I know you know I've been drinking. Which I've texted Jake drunkly before, and he's just kind of been like, yeah, I know you're drunk. I'm just going to stop responding.
I ignored him at first because I thought he was super drunk.
And I was like, dude, I've had like 4 beers, okay? And I was like, you know what? My texting is not going to even convey what happened. Because I was like, dude, I just saw a UFO. And still to this point, I was like, in Jake's mind, I know he's thinking I'm just being a drunk buffoon. So I called him. I was like, I don't know if I have service. I'm going to try to fucking call him. And I walked away from the fire, like sat by myself. I was like, dude, I just saw 2 UFOs. And I explained the story I just explained to y'all, to Jake. And then he got real butthurt because he wasn't there to witness them.
It's fucking bullshit. It's what that is.
And then what I did next was the even more nerdy part, because I drove the girls back to the farmhouse because I had to use the restroom. And as I waited for them to use the restroom, what did I do? I looked up a UFO webpage, like UFO sighting webpage, and filed a report.
You made it legit.
I made a legit report and filed it. I actually saved the picture. I'll post it on the socials.
He filed paperwork for it.
I filed paperwork saying I saw me 2 UFOs.
That's how you know it was real. There's a paper trail.
Here's the thing. I knew you would believe me because I have multiple times on this show been like, I haven't seen shit. Now, granted, my butthole wasn't probed.
That you know.
My paranormal sighting cherry was popped, but my butthole wasn't probed. I didn't see no aliens. I didn't have any encounters of 2nd, 3rd, or 4th kinds. So that's why I can't jump up very high. But unbeknownst to you, actually, even after tonight, when we get down into Weary Road, I am actually solidifying myself at a 3 now.
Yeah.
I resign at a 3 instead of a 2 now.
That's fair. Your salty power walk for the evening states otherwise, but we'll get to that.
So now,
why are we here tonight, though?
We are here for the end of a saga. Weary Road, Part 3. You have joined us. You have joined us for the last 2 episodes. You've laughed with us. You've cried. You've probably called me a little bitch in your head. I don't care. Tonight was definitely the creepiest time at Weary Road.
It was fun.
Now, we went a 3rd time. We explained this at some point in the second
Probably.
part.
I think we mentioned it in the second part, or briefly in the first part.
Yeah, you already know what the legend is about. We kind of reread the text, and we were like, maybe it's not 3 trips down the road, down and back, or even like 3 loops. Maybe it's 3 separate visits. And I will say that I think 3 separate visits paid off.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a creep fest tonight. There were fireworks going off because it was just the 4th of July, so people have got spare fireworks to shoot off. And it was crazy because it was like there's fireworks in 4 different corners from our
we were surrounded
position
by
of standing. Yes, there were several things that we encountered tonight that were creep factor.
Well, and the first thing that we noticed too, they repainted the bridge.
Yes, the famous graffiti bridge now has been painted over
It's like less creative graffiti.
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of teenage bullshit. It's here's the thing. Graffiti back in the 70s, cool shit. Like maybe for a good time, call Becky, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever, like toilet.
Sorry to any Beckys out there.
But when you start putting Snapchat tags and fucking Instagram handles
that's today,
as your fucking graffiti,
add me.
We're going down the toilet as a society in my eyes.
Hashtag find me online.
Aaron, so this was your first time out there, so you saw the bridge, and we kind of showed you some of the old pictures. Like, what was your thought as far as the graffiti? Now, we got out there in the light, and I kept telling you, I was like, it's going to get creepy. Like, the tree tunnel looks creepy right now, but wait till it gets dark. But not that so much, but, like, what was your thought on all the graffiti and that silliness there?
I guess like you were saying, nowadays it's not really graffiti. It's more of a look at me kind of thing, like more of a attention. You know, everything we read, most of it all had
hashtags.
We actually didn't really see that many hashtags. I was
That's
actually
true.
very
I didn't
surprised.
see one
hashtag life, hashtag bridge and all that kind of stuff. But it was definitely.
But there were at the very least, there were at least six to
I've never
eight.
seen phone numbers before. Actually, graffitied. I've never seen that before. And personally,
some
I'm a
poor
little
girl's
bothered.
phone numbers out on
I'm
that
really
road.
bothered about that. I mean, I understand there's a song out there, of the,
Well, but I mean,
But-
have you seen phone numbers in like bathroom stalls? Like that's pretty.
Well, I mean, but bathroom stalls are a lot different than on a wall out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, or like in the middle of a fucking creepy ass road.
yeah,
Like, that is
and-
true.
and-
Like
But
we-
I mean, the
if
more
we
saw,
go back for a fourth visit, we should do the world a service and just black spray paint over that girl's number.
I mean, and then it's just
Because
like
I
add me this and add me-
jokingly and half seriously was like, we should fucking call her right now and be like, we're at Weary Road. And Jake's like, she could be like 12. Like,
Yeah.
don't fuck around. I'm like, fair point.
Just trying to not
As
get
we
you
did
arrested.
see that whole car worth of like 4 teenagers drive by shortly
yeah,
after
we
that.
got-
So I
we
mean,
got
it
flash-
did
we got
kinda,
flashed to devil horns.
So he
Yeah.
threw up the Satan horns.
He
right
did.
there.
Yeah. Fucking numbskulls.
We're so old.
We've
It's
had,
funny, though.
we've
It's
had
like, hey,
so
hey,
many.
back in our day, we did Santa's good, all right?
We have had so many old man conversations tonight. I don't give a shit. Like my dad was down the other weekend, and I was like, I am turning into a crotchety old man. He's like, yep.
It happens.
It happens.
It's like this will become you.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't get today's youth, Jake, and it bothers me with their hopscotch and their Tybo
and their loud music.
and their loud music and their Tony Little Gazelle machines. I don't fucking understand today's youth. They're so fit. They're so fit. Why? Oh god. But so that was not even necessarily a highlight. We're just kind of going in sequential order of how the night rolled on. I was sad to see the 4 smiley faces go. However, the Devil's Pentagram was still out there. No one fucked with that.
You don't fuck with the pen.
No.
Yeah,
Nope,
and
leave
you
it
also
there.
don't fuck with the pentagram by joking or even actually bringing a Ouija board. to
I
put out
wish
there.
we had brought a Ouija board.
No.
Or a demon board would be super cool. But that one, I think you have
Next
to...
next episode, I think we'll just have to do one without Nick, without him actually knowing it's there, and also like put it over the car and then
sneak
just
it
throw
in
it
my
away. But,
backpack.
like, exactly, and then also just start chanting like, "What are you
no,
doing?
Nick.
What are you doing?"
Ghost.
You're just gonna spray paint a Ouija board to the top of your car.
There
we
you
can do
go.
that. You could the ultimate spray paint.
What are you gonna use for the planchette?
We'll figure.
A tire?
We'll figure it out. Well, you don't have to make it that big.
Big
I
fucking
mean,
tire
just get an
planchette.
O-ring. Just put it
We'll
around.
turn the road into a Ouija board.
Fuck you all.
Oh.
So then, ultimately, we could find out if there's actually something out there. That would.
Yeah,
be,
no, we had that deep conversation about not opening portals.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And I'm in total favor of opening portals.
You're totally in favor of
I
it.
think you're the only one that's
Aaron
actually
and I
okay.
are both like,
Nope.
no.
That's
Not a
you
cool
know,
idea.
Yeah, I mean, it just...
Holy water. Make sure you have with you
Yeah.
at a time. Maybe a priest.
That'll be
kind of thing.
fine.
Speaking of priest and it being Weary Road, that was a good unknown joke you just did there.
Ba-da-ba.
Why are you looking confused? Old man Weary's a pedophile.
A pedophile.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
altar boys. You know.
Right, I
Yeah,
get it.
Right.
I get it. I just...
Why are you still confused?
I guess I didn't
it was a
correlate
pun.
those two.
It was a pun.
Was it a pun?
It wasn't a pun,
I
but it
guess.
was.
It wasn't very punny.
I don't know. I don't know the. No, you're done with dad jokes today. You're done. You're not allowed to do dad jokes anymore today.
No, they're all good.
Anymore in this segment of fucking recording, you're not allowed to do
They're
a dad
all
joke. No,
awesome.
no. So the graffiti.
Get better at it. You know.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
classic.
I mean,
Stay classic. Jeez.
I mean,
Step up your game, kids.
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah,
a little
like,
bit.
why don't go a little Banksy? You know, like get cool with it. Get cool with it, you fucking unhip
I think
squares.
personally, the pentagram was probably the most
The
artistic.
pentagram, I mean, the pentagram has been there every trip.
That's what I'm saying, but I think that was probably the best thing so far.
Well, that was professionally made.
Yes, you know.
That's blood, not spray paint.
That, like literally, like DNA test that thing.
That's a problem. We should be more concerned.
You can't wash that off with soap and water.
Nope.
So we actually, Jake and I, every time we've visited Weary Road, we've kind of had a plan in place. And tonight we just kind of freeballed it.
Yep.
We didn't really have a plan in place, so
I just wanted to get Nick out of the car. That was my
But he
only
didn't
goal.
state. You didn't state this to me either. So we
Success.
We parked in
big time success.
We
Actually.
parked in what I'm going to call the Weary Road parking lot.
Yeah.
Which is big enough for one car to turn around in.
It's big enough for your car and your murderer.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe two if they're two compact cars.
Yeah. Or murderers.
Yeah, or murderers. So we parked, and the last time we were there was daylight, and we got out, kind of explored the bridge a little bit, and then this time we got out, we explored the bridge, we looked into some new graffiti. Lots of dicks. Like, lots of dicks out there.
When you graffiti, that's pretty much all you got.
Here's the thing. One swastika,
One swastika.
15 dicks.
Many dicks.
And animated titties.
And anime titties. There was
Anime
anime
But
titties.
they were
With
half
Ds.
drawn. Like, it wasn't actually just boobs.
Right.
Or anything. It was
Aaron
actually
was Aaron was very upset that he
Little
just
bit.
didn't see the classic
little bit.
boobs.
Just the classic boobs.
They stepped up their game in that
Like,
respect.
yeah, just half moons going on
I,
there. Like,
I would have accepted the 8008135.
Yes. Yes, yeah, the old school, like when you actually had to push the numbers and everything. Yes.
Welcome to America's Graffiti Land. This is where we discuss graffiti on the road.
This is currently America's old men land.
Hashtag.
No country for old men in America's scary land.
Hashtag parents don't understand.
Apparently, I am the only man in this recording room right now.
Debatable.
That it's a room. I agree. It's a garage with blankets. That's a recording studio that doesn't have children.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm a crotchety old man and you two are crotchety old men.
That's why my dad humor is so strong.
That's
But
true.
we have a reason to be that
Yeah,
way.
you
But
got
I
no
don't.
reason.
You
I
don't.
don't.
That's actually
I'm
makes
just
it worse.
mad at the youth because
You're not them anymore.
I
You could be one of those old guys with a cane throwing shit at
no
people.
this worries me about the sort of house I'm going to end up buying.
You could be sitting there with a rocking chair in the front.
My house is going to have so many frisbees on the roof.
That's
so
the
many
thing. That's what I'm
collected
saying. You're gonna be
balls.
that crotchety old man that's sitting there like, oh god, get out of my rock
I'm gonna
yard.
sit out in my yard with a knife and deflate any fucking balls that come in them.
Just staring at the kids, eyeing them
And
down.
you mow your lawn like 5 times a week.
Holy shit, this
You
has
know?
been 15 minutes of derailing right now.
This whole day has been just
That's true. This whole
It's been an
day is...
adventure.
We just tell them we actually didn't go out there. We're just like,
Yeah, we're just lying about all
joshing
this.
the whole way there. Like,
We actually, for all the episodes, have not left the garage.
Never. Never once. We've made everything up.
I recorded all of them on one day. It's been a long day.
We had people on speed dial. Hey, it's your turn to come in as our guest.
I am actually not here
They
right
actually
now.
just showed up.
I am actually on
It's
speakerphone.
on speakerphone. It's really, really good
We haven't
service.
seen you guys in like 4 weeks. Where the hell you been? Stay in the garage.
All right.
Back to the scary.
Back to the scary. So we pull over, we park the car, we get out and investigate the bridge. And then before I know it, we're all of a sudden like halfway through the fucking tree tunnel. And it dawns on me that we're that far down the fucking road. I'm like, what's the plan, guys? Jake's like, just shrugs his shoulders and keeps walking, turns away from me, just keeps walking. Aaron is just along for the ride. Aaron was like, man,
country.
These two been out here before. I'm just going wherever they go. Like this has got to be a normal part of the lore. You're supposed to walk down here with a backpack and talking shit.
I didn't have my backpack at the
Yeah,
time.
you
I was-
didn't.
I was unprepared.
But yeah, poop emergency ultimately took us back to the car.
Which was fine. We had to wait for the sun to go down.
Yep, that was the biggest
So
thing.
actually kind of worked out.
It did.
Actually,
It did.
was
We had
fine.
enough time to go evacuate my bowels. Because once it got dark, had my bowels been full, I wouldn't have cared about excreting all over the
Yes.
rock.
There would have been new graffiti.
There
There
were-
would have been, it would have been bad.
Something else.
So, well, Jake, why don't you start us off with the first creepy shit that happened?
Which one was the first creepy shit?
The first creepy shit was the
The light.
first light.
The light.
The one that darted across. Or you didn't see that, did you? No, you did.
No, you saw that.
You did.
The big bright light?
Yeah, the one,
Yeah,
no, that
okay.
single flash.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. I
Well, we had just.
Everything happened, and
The whole situation is creepy. The whole road is it's creepy and weird and like.
it's dark, and especially when it gets to be dark, it looks like it just goes on. You don't see the end at all.
Right. And one, that's the thing. You don't even see the end when it's light out.
No.
Yeah.
It's just like the light is just eaten. It's swallowed up by the tree
It's at
tunnel.
least like 2 degrees darker. In
Oh,
there.
I'd say more than that.
Every-
I mean, it was 9.
it was like nighttime when it was still daytime everywhere
Yes,
else.
it was pretty
And
dark.
then when it was nighttime everywhere else, it was like pitch black.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on our way back through. So we walked the entire length of the road through the tree tunnel, and then we turned around and we headed back. Had we dropped off the voice recorder yet?
No, we were on the way to.
So we were just about to.
Yep.
So we're walking, and I had been throughout the walk not really like flashing my light, but turning it on, taking
Well, because
a
you
look
just told me
around.
that you discovered that the flashlights you bought have like a strobe and an SOS
And
feature.
a light set, there's 3 light settings. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of messing around a little bit, but it was never like whoa. It was always just turn on and look around kind of
Yeah.
thing. So we're walking, and I have Nick's light is off. My flashlight is in my hand, pointed behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and we're looking around, and there's just a bright light, almost like a.
It was like a streak of light. It was like
Yeah.
a streak of light.
It
like
looked
a,
like someone holding a flashlight
run across the
run
road.
across the road,
Yep. And it was not.
but it lit up really light.
Yeah, it was like we've kind of talked. We've kind of mentioned it. It was like a quick lightning strike. It was like horizontal across the road. It was super quick, and we all 3 saw it. Like, because we all 3 were like, because I saw it thinking, Jake had been strobing his light all night, so I was just like, okay, whatever. I didn't make any mention of it. And I don't. It was one of you 2. You were just like, did you see that?
No, I think we both kind of
Yeah.
said it at the same time.
It was
We
one
all
of-
kind of came to.
It was one of those things where it happened, and your brain goes, "Did I just?" And
Yeah.
then after a minute, Aaron and I were both like, "Did that just? We saw that, right?" And then everyone was like,
I was
"Oh,
like, yeah, I saw it." Like, we all 3 were like, okay, we did just see that. That was. That was a creep. That was
yeah,
creepy.
That was
Like,
the first, and it ramped up a bit from there. I think.
Well, I was already on edge, and I was on edge. I jumped the gun bringing that up because I was already on edge after we couldn't debunk your photos.
oh yeah,
So on trip number 2, right before we took off, Jake was like, "Hey, I've gotten this idea. I'm gonna take a selfie in both directions of the car
in the pitch black dark,
in the pitch black in the
with the
middle
flash.
in the middle of the tree tunnel."
yeah,
Now, for those of you who have been to Weary Road, and for those of you who have watched the Snap videos, there are like 2 essentially main parts of. So Weary Road itself is a very long road. It's probably 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah.
And there's housing on it and all sorts of stuff. But this, I don't know, it's probably a mile stretch from the
half mile to a mile,
from
yeah.
the bridge to the T is probably. This is the creepiest part of Weary Road. It starts at the bridge and then it goes. I'm not even going to try to guess what country road it is, but it goes till it tees to another road, and that's where Weary Road ends.
yep,
There are the distinct areas of Weary Road are the bridge, the first part of the tree tunnel, which is probably 40, 50 yards in front, like past the pentagram.
yep.
And then the tree tunnel takes a small little break, and right where the tree line kind of breaks, the road also kind of bends a little bit.
Takes a little S.
It takes a tiny little S curve, but it's enough of an S curve that like when you're off in the distance, and like we've been there enough times now that we've had cars pass us and stuff, the headlights in the darkness will kind of disappear for 5-10 seconds, and then they'll reappear.
Yep.
So we also discovered on the walked day. So Jake took these photos, you took
Yep.
these selfies, and you sent me them that night or that next morning, and I was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
they're-
because I looked at them that night and I didn't see anything extraordinary. I was like, oh, okay, so, whatever. It was a fun little experiment to try. And then I think it was the next day or even maybe a couple of days later, as I'm editing the episodes and I'm going through all of the voice recordings and everything, I'm looking through these pictures, and one of them catches my eye, and it's just my dumbass bright light in my face. My eyes are closed.
Here's the thing that's funny about that. So we based our Boschel scale off of the medical scale of 1 to 10 for pain, but they also use the faces in the medical field. Your face, when you are taking a selfie of yourself, definitely represents the number 7 where you sit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was bright and it hurt my eyes a little bit, so I was discomforted.
at a level 7.
Yep. So, but in the first picture, I was looking, and off my. It probably, I don't know, whatever. It's on the fucking left side of the picture, over my shoulder. There's 2 white dots that, to me, that looks like I caught the reflection of eyes.
Well, and Jake sent these to me, and I quickly dismissed it. I was like, no, dude, remember that car? Because Jake had to hurry up. In my recollection of part 2, Jake had to. I thought he had to hurry up and take these and jump in the car because we had a car coming at us. So I initially saw them, and I was like, dude, yeah, you got those headlights that were coming at us. Nope. On the way to Weary Road tonight, he showed me these photos again, and I got creeped out. Initially, I mean, which, it's not hard for that to happen. You guys have been there, you've been witness to that. It's not hard for you to get creeped out. I got creeped out, and then we got to Weary Road. We drove it once, and I was like, oh, dude, like, it's these reflectors. It's these road reflectors that were, they were. I couldn't pinpoint them at the time when I had initially said, like, oh, the reflectors and stuff. So then we parked the car and we walked. Mm-hmm. And when we were walking, it dawned on me, you took those photos shortly into the first part of the big tunnel.
Yeah.
And there's no way, because those reflectors are behind the curve and down into, like, the second tunnel.
Right. And we even tested it with the flashlight. At first we walked in, we would just shine the flashlight.
Yep.
They're reflective, but they're not like, holy crap,
they're
reflective.
subpar reflectors.
And then, just for shits and giggles, I took another picture of myself. It was pretty dark.
You were about 10 feet in front of them this time.
And it wasn't as dark, but it was still dark. And I took the same sort of dumbass selfie with it, and there's nothing. You can't see
them at all, and you're 10 feet in front of them. In the original photos, we're yards.
We would be
we're ways
very
away.
far from them.
So, and I was thinking to myself too, I was like, oh, there's farms out here. Maybe it's farm lights. No, the tree cover is too thick and again, with the bend and where they are, it's, so the picture with the two dots is creepy enough. Then you showed me the second picture, and I had you show Aaron these pictures, and I just gave myself fucking goosebumps, because the second picture, I don't know which one is chronological, but the second picture is even creepier, and we will throw these up on social so you guys can see them. You zoomed in on that second one, and that's the one that legit, when I could not debunk. You did the close-up selfie, and we kind of talked about the fact that the reflectors couldn't have shown that far away. The second picture, you have 3 lights in, and one of them is like a piercing blue.
Yep.
And so you zoomed in on them, and they look like eyes.
Yep, you can see it looks like the white of the eye, and then like the iris or then the pupil area. Well, and the thing with that one too, which creeps me out a little bit, is the first one I took straight on, so it would have been behind me horizontally on the same plane as me. Mm-hmm. This one I took at a very high upward angle. So this thing, wasn't super far behind me, because the lens wouldn't have, it's only going to cover so much. And It was on the road. So there was nothing, it wasn't catching anything behind me. It's catching something on the ground. Yeah. Which is the part that tweaks me out on.
That is what had me amped up prior to the wispy light going across the road even. That already had me amped up and on edge. And then we had to deal with fucking Jeepers Creepers fucking van driving by.
Oh, that truck, yeah.
Fucking rednecks. So we had we put well, we put the $12 shitty voice recorder on a stump because if we lost it, it's shitty $12 voice recorder.
Yeah.
We put that on a stump and then kept walking to the truck. And as we did that, this
It was a big ass truck.
big-ass truck, like...
It had like the row of lights on the top, but they were like probably reflector lights, right? Like they were orangish.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah.
Well, and he and it's dark in the tunnel. I mean, it's still light enough. Is it twilight that's at night or is it dusk?
Dusk.
So it's dusk. It's just, I mean, it's dusk hours. So
Yeah.
it's outside of the tree tunnel. It's pretty light still,
Light enough, yeah.
but inside the tree tunnel it's dark. So I'm just like, I get to the side of the road and I'm just like, and they're just like, yeah, it's gonna be real creepy when he shines his light and sees 3 fucking dudes walking down the road. That's why I just took cover behind the tree. I didn't hide, but I was just like, I'm gonna get close to this tree. And he turned the corner. He got across the bridge, and he was getting closer and closer. And he slowed down to the point where we actually thought he was gonna stop,
Yeah.
or they, or
I
whoever.
remember actually. I can't remember who said it, but they're actually like, "Please don't stop."
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
actually,
One of
like
those-
that was more the question.
That
Like,
was me.
Don't stop.
I was like,
Yeah.
don't stop because this looks like one of them good old boy trucks where he's like, we gonna anal rape these boys. Like,
some deliverance shit.
like I was like, no, don't
Make
stop.
you squeal like a piggy.
Just keep going. It's fine. Just keep driving right along.
And that's what they did. But they did in true redneck fashion, and let us know that
They did a power drop.
they let us know that
They did a diesel power drop.
they let us know that they got a small dick.
It was loud and it was some bullshit.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily creepy. It was just an annoyance at that.
See, that to me was the creepiest thing that happened.
See, and that's this has happened in other episodes. I'm creeped out by the paranormal and all that sort of stuff. But you're creeped out about like
other humans.
Yeah, I was like, hey, crackhead, Sanatorium Hill, and you're like, I don't want to get stabbed.
Fucking show me a ghost any day, but you show
Yeah.
me another human, I'll be like, get the fuck out of here. I don't
Yeah.
trust a single soul that's alive. So yeah, that happened. So that put me a little bit more.
You were revved up a little bit.
That got me a little bit.
Well, you just cut us all off on guard, really. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought he
I-
I did not expect him to be a dickhead and pull that kind of shit. Especially, like I said, seeing 3 guys just walking down the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And
personally, if I was driving, I would be kind of wigged out seeing 3 dudes walking down the road, and I would actually not try to, make them pissed off
start some
or
shit,
of
yeah.
anything. I would just continue driving. I would not slow down. I would just go.
Which is why I figured it had to be some sort of teenage kid. Just
Yeah.
like, I came out here to spray paint, but now these fuckers ruined it. Takes off.
How am I supposed to put dicks on this road?
We got enough. We need some more, like colorful ones.
I put 6 out here the other night. I got to put another 5 down.
Damn you, 3 strange men! You stopped my dick destroying plan. Like, yeah, that makes sense. 'Cause, I mean, what teenage boy doesn't like drawing dicks everywhere?
Well, we did see a spray painted sex cult on the
That's
floor.
true.
So, I mean, maybe he was coming back to finish.
I will honestly say I was the most impressed with the hammer and sickle. A little Soviet love. Little
I
Soviet
was.
love.
That was
out there.
way
Like, that
out
was-
left field. Did not expect that,
That was
especially with
hands
all
down
the-
my favorite, and
I'm
all
actually-
3 visits, my favorite graffiti.
I'm actually kind of surprised they had it right, and whoever did it actually probably knew what it actually meant. That's actually the best part. Is like, holy crap!
Well,
you actually
He
knew
probably
it.
saw it on a band sticker. And was
But I'm
like,
just still saying, like, that would actually stuck in their head. Like, that's
Yeah.
Soviet Union. Like, that's old school.
Here's my thought. It was a Russian foreign exchange student. Some fucking kids are like, hey, we're gonna go tag and do all this.
So he had to put his
random
little part
shit.
in there, like, I
so
don't
he's like,
have-
I'm from Mother Russia, and he's just like, hammer and secret.
Well, he's like, I don't have Snapchat.
Is that your Russian? Is that your Russian accent?
Like, get some vodka, right? You have to throw vodka in there. They always drink vodka. But he's like, I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Instagram. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw up some old Soviet Union stuff. Like,
All I
what's
have is
up?
communism.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, Soviet Union will rise again. USSR.
Nick is so salty over there right now. He's mad I made fun of his Russian accent.
No, I'm mad because every time I try to do any sort of fucking accent, I sound like a Nas. A Nas, if you're listening, I don't know if you know this, but
You sound Russian.
every time I try to do any foreign accent, I end up sounding like you. So Sorry, buddy.
I
don't do it on
I
purpose.
can't do this anymore.
I don't do it on purpose. It just
broken.
happens.
So
So that's so the creep factor is revving up at this point. Then we get out of the tree tunnel.
yeah, you were starting to get relieved because here we go. We're out of the tree tunnel. We're almost back to
as Jake pointed out to Aaron. And
the salty walk.
Yes,
The
and
salty
as any of you who've seen any of the live Snap stories, you can also confirm this. There's many. It goes by many names. Jake has said, "Oh man, excited booze. He sure fucks over scared booze," which he does, and that's how every Snap story goes. Mm-hmm. Excited booze. Couple hours before, hey, just guys, letting you know we're gonna do it. The drive, yeah, we're gonna be there. We get there. If it's light, I'm like, yeah, but I know it's gonna suck. Then the light fades, and I'm like, this sucks, and I don't want to be here.
Yep.
Now, physically, what happens to me when that happens is Jake has dubbed it my salty walk.
Very, very brisk.
It's
He
very
turns
brisk.
into a middle-aged woman in a shopping mall before it opens.
The speed walkers you see down the side of the road, speed walking.
It's a very brisk walk. It's very heavy breathing. It's a lot of very deep sighs.
No actual talking.
It's very quiet too. It is. There's nothing but just sounds coming from my body. It's true.
That is the walk of a man who is, I'm done and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
So I had kicked into salty walk mode,
You were full salt.
and I was relieved because we're like, yes, like salvation. We're almost at the truck. Then we can go home and be done with this and come and record this, which I like this part. This part's
easy.
fun. This part's
part's
easy.
fun.
Oh, making fun of myself for being a pussy? Yeah, that part's fun.
We have some laughs.
Yeah.
But before we got to the bridge,
We stopped
abruptly,
abruptly.
because we heard a very distinct, very clear, just off, there's like a field there, right in there, we heard a very distinct, it was like a, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Yep. Just out of nowhere, it just kind of just creeped up, and it just almost sounded like somebody was actually standing there behind a tree,
I
almost kind
heard
of
it
doing a whole
once.
yep.
I heard it once. Now, Aaron, I overheard you saying I'm pretty positive that was the frogs because
I was saying it might have been the frogs, just because of how late at night it was getting to. But like I said, the second time it came around, it did seem a little bit more of like somebody just kind of standing behind a tree, almost kind of screwing with us a little bit.
it was close.
I mean,
how many total? I heard it once.
I heard it twice.
I heard it twice.
I mean,
Twice, okay.
unless if anybody out there knows enough about frogs that at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, that they just kind of make a yep kind of noise, I guess.
But to me,
It definitely seemed it seemed like a person would be saying that.
it
Just kinda-
sounded like the word yep. Like there was,
and you could make it out too. It wasn't muffled. You could definitely
it
hear
wasn't
it.
like a sound. It was words. So
And it was very distinctive
it was
too.
very clear.
And it was only at one spot because
Yeah.
we continued walking a little bit even after we heard it, and it still came from there. And then I actually told you guys where it was, and you're like, "Yep, it's right from there."
Yeah, because you
And-
could pinpoint from where the sound was coming
And it
from.
didn't continue to follow; it just stayed right there. So it's still.
Well, and so then we get back to the bridge, and we did a little voice record.
Yeah, we did a little EVP session.
Hopefully, we got something there. I can't wait to listen back to that.
Try to piss him off a little bit there.
Tried to
you know.
antagonize
Yeah,
Pedo
definitely.
Weary a little bit, and I asked the one question that I was told you're not supposed to ask in these situations, which is how did you die? Apparently, that pisses him off, but you have to ask.
We have yet to go through the EVP recordings, and we will let you know.
Yep, and hopefully I got, because I was recording on our walk back during that time. I'm hoping I caught that yep. But then the thing is that we decided that we should walk back because we had to go get the voice recorder, and I was debating on whether or not I would walk the entire walk back myself. And as we're walking, I heard a very distinct noise coming from the same area, and I heard it twice.
Was it like the sound that the clicking? Was it like the clicking sound that the aliens from Signs do?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It sounded like
We were by a cornfield.
we were by a cornfield.
No
it's
crop circles. No.
No crop circles.
Well, because it's 4th of July. It's just barely thigh high.
It's knee high. You go knee high.
Oh, no, it's knee high, but it's just barely thigh high.
Okay.
Because it's the 6th of July right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I said it's thigh high by the 6th of July.
Very nice.
Yeah, I thought it was well put.
This is Jake's salty podcast voice now.
Is it? Have I ruined your podcast show?
You ruined everything.
I've ruined everything.
But no, I heard that. I don't know if you guys heard that.
I did not.
I didn't hear that.
It
I
came
know
from
you-
the same area as the Yup Yup.
No, you
so-
said there was twice, right? That you
It was
heard
twice. I
Okay,
heard it
yeah. I didn't
twice.
even hear it either time. I know you said something
I
about
was
it.
peeing, actually. I was peeing off the bridge.
On the bridge.
Actually, why we didn't hear it is I called you over because I was looking at the fish.
At the
There was
fish, yes,
a
we
little,
did.
little fucked up. Well, it wasn't fucked. I thought it was. I knew it wasn't a koi fish, but it looked like a fucking koi fish. I was like, Aaron, come here. Look at that fish. And then I peed into the river.
There was just one fish.
Yeah.
But this was all three of us were on the road. We were walking back,
Mm-hmm.
and then what I think to be probably the weirdest thing that we actually saw with our eyes.
Yep.
Nick.
So, all right. Out front, we're just going to go lights is my vote. Or, what do you call it, Jake? Hellfire?
Hellfire.
Yeah, it was
Hellfire.
Hellfire.
We saw some
yes.
Hellfire.
Jake's vote is Hellfire. My vote is Hellfire. Aaron's vote is truck toppers.
Yes.
So for a second, I mean, I'm just saying that's initially kind of what we're all thinking.
One of these things is not like the other.
This is true.
One's right, the other two are wrong.
It was Hellfire.
So yeah, I looked. We all saw it, and I initially thought it was a truck coming back. Initially,
Yeah.
and Aaron's like, "Oh yeah, there's headlights," because we're doing. Or that's right. You were about to walk back. You're saying,
Yeah.
about to walk
I
back to get your-
volunteered to walk back to the voice recorder by myself.
Yeah, which I was like, I was already thankful that we were out of there.
That's a little bit of talking too to actually do that. I think it was at that point where Nick was definitely not going
I was
to.
done. And Aaron was nice enough to be like, I'll take the little kid back to the car.
I was talking to you. I was like, we should just walk down there. We should just leave him. I actually
Look,
did say that.
I have sat down in that road by myself. I just would have asked
See,
you.
that would have been even scarier if you would have just been by yourself. I think actually,
I've
if you
already
would've-
done that. I would have
No,
asked you for your car keys and waited. That's what I would have
Yeah.
done because I've already done it.
When you were peeing, Aaron's like, we should just keep
We actually, I was doing that. I did say that we should just walk away, and then you
and,
turn
then you,
around.
and then you did. That's the thing. You started to do it,
I just started walking.
but then you froze because these headlights came
Yep.
and again.
Well, see, to me, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying, you say headlights came. I just saw an orange glow. That
And
made
it was
me
definitely
so-
orange.
That's what I
No,
saw.
I'll
And that's
agree
the
with
thing.
that, yep.
It was when you see headlights, and again, we've been down this road enough at night the last several months, and we've seen, and you know what headlights look like on a dark road.
Yeah.
Whether you're walking down it or driving down it, or even from a distance,
Yeah.
you know what headlights look like. This light, it filled the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like fire or anything like that.
No, it was an
looked
orange,
like it looked like an
dull
orange
glow.
safety light. I'm getting fucking goosebumps again talking about this. It was like an orange safety, like an orange yard light sort of hue.
Yeah.
But it filled the entire
Archway.
archway of the. I mean,
the
we're
tunnel.
probably 400 or 500 yards from the tree tunnel at this point.
Yep.
And so we see them, and instantly we're all just like, oh, instantly we were all like, oh, it's headlights. And I watch it for a second. I know we all watch it, and it dims out because I figure it hits
The bend.
It hits the bend, which again, there's 5 to 10 seconds delay, and then they reappear. And so Jake saw it, and he's like, all right, well, if there's a car coming, I'm not going to walk down there and get
And
the voice recorder.
one of you mentioned too, you're like, oh, maybe, I think you said it,
I
you saw
did.
the topper.
That's
Yeah.
why I was thinking it was those guys
And
from
you-
earlier.
the truck
Yep.
from before. And I was
I'm-
like, okay,
yep.
I'm out now. If they're coming
Yeah,
back to
if they're
fuck
coming
with
back
us,
to
I'm
fuck with
out.
us, you're out. And then as we walked back to the truck, which probably 100 yards or so away, the lights never came back.
Yeah.
Like never came back. Like it didn't reappear. It was nothing.
And we also took that at first to think maybe they stopped
Yep.
and shut their car off
Yep.
to fuck with us.
So we were back in the truck.
Yep.
We were driving to get the voice recorder, and we got all the way to the T because we fucked up and
We lost it.
we lost the voice recorder for a little bit. But we got to the T, no car.
So we drove the whole length from
And-
the only entrance of the road to the only exit of the road.
Yeah, that
And-
stretch of the road.
Nothing.
And also, it should be mentioned too that this is not a road. The road is not wide enough to pull a swift like Y turn on.
Oh, it's barely a lane wide.
Right. So if the car did a whole like stop U turn or stop Y turn and took off again, that would have been easy to see.
Well,
the
and also
bump.
for being a truck, there's no way.
Yeah, that was.
Just-
if it was the- if it was that
There's no
truck,
way.
that truck was huge.
With even with the Jeep, it would be very hard, or actually a small car. But for the fact that I'm saying it's a truck, there's no way, and that's why I still say that. I would like to know if you're standing at the bridge with the bend, if you can actually see all the way down there, because
You can. You can
And
see
I still
all
believe
the
it
way
was just
down
him
there.
pulling in and then right back out.
Well, but
I
see, here's the
believe.
thing, is that with headlights you see two distinct lights.
Yep.
But this looked like if you have ever driven at night and you're going like up a hill and there's a car coming from the other way and you see the glow of their lights. It looked like that, but it was orange. The thing is, that road, flat as, it's flat hill. It's not
And you
a
can
hill.
again you can see when a car, if you're at the bridge and you're looking at the T, you can see when a car turns down the road and then it disappears, and then it reappears and the car just keeps coming and gets to the bridge and keeps going.
Yep.
Both of you were like, oh, like it. You surprised me. You were really quick to want to debunk it and be like, no, there's a driveway up there. It was someone turning around.
Well, that was my first thought. Was,
And then we actually got down there, it wasn't.
Yeah,
there
when
wasn't.
you get to the T, there is a house right there.
But
and
there's
I
not
just,
a driveway right
in my
there.
mind, I
No.
just pictured their driveway was right there, but their driveway is actually off to the left of the.
Yeah, there's one on the
The
left
road.
and the right on
So-
both sides there.
Well, and
So-
the thing too that I didn't even mention, but the lights looked like they were coming forward for a short bit.
Yeah.
They weren't like stationary. Like because you can see the T again. You can see the T from the bridge. You can see all the way down to the T because you can see when cars get on that road.
Yep.
Now it looked like a car or light of sorts entered the road and was coming forward, and then hit the brake, disappeared, and then anticipating it showing back up, and it
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Yeah, because we got in the car and we sat there for a minute, kind of like, okay, drive by already.
Yep.
And they never came. And then-
It didn't look like distinct headlights, and it didn't reappear.
Yep.
And then we didn't find any. Because again, you were right. We're like, well, maybe it is that truck still trying to fuck with us. Like,
We
we'll
figured
drive down
I
here.
figured we'd drive down there and we'd find them parked on the side of the road.
And there was one section when we were coming back from the T, looking for the voice recorder. I noticed that there is a spot for one of those fields right there that has it's in the break of the trees, but it's like a spot where you could get a tractor in to get to the field.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just for farmers to get
Right.
Yep.
But I even looked down there to be like, oh, maybe headlights. But even still, we would have seen.
I mean,
them
and plus,
turn
there,
off.
from all the rain and stuff in that field, in chunks, there's probably like a 2 foot of water sitting
Oh,
there.
it looks like swampland out
Yeah.
there.
So-
Like there's been a lot of flooding lately, and it's just all swampy out there. And so I don't know what it was. This is the third trip we've been out there, and last trip you egged Old Man Weary on.
Mm-hmm.
This trip we were more just like we were winging it, and I don't know. Those 4 things, I guess, if you count the reflector situation. It was by far the creepiest.
See, and I will say, and I think we mentioned it before, but out there are reports of ghost cars, ghost motorcycles, and things. So, I don't know. To me, like, I don't care what you say. That was hellfire. And I'm pretty sure we saw, like, that to me is going to go into the proof column for me.
Yeah.
Because that's not something that, to me, is easily explained away.
I can't easily explain it away. There's not much. This is again going back to the top of the show. with the UFOs last week and that's why I can solidly sit at a 3. I
See,
mean,
this
I haven't seen any apparitions.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any sort of specters or full-figured
yet.
Aliens, none of that stuff. But I'm seeing stuff that I can't explain with logical explanation.
Yep. See, and this to me, like, now that you mentioned it, like, I didn't think about this. Probably bumps me up a little bit too. This takes me from being like, yeah, it's real, to like, fuck yeah, it's real. Like, we experience, like, the lights, the sounds, those pictures. There's something going on out there.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, this has been our 3rd trip. Aaron, this was your first time ever out there. Summarize your whole experience out there tonight, if you can.
Well, I guess, first, just like I said, the darkness of the tunnel really kind of got me a little bit there. I did not really expect the how dark it was compared to the outside. It just swallows up the light completely. Yeah. I mean, even when it got more darker and darker, it's regular just horror film 101. Like you just don't want to go down there.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I said, when we were walking around, most of the time, I really didn't, I was just kind of watching everything, trying to see if I was hearing anything. Like you said, I'm kind of a little bit of country boy, so I can kind of tell the difference from what's a normal sound of an animal, or
you're
like,
kind of our guide as
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
we're
I'm an
hoping to
expert.
hear things, and you can, because actually the last time we were out there, we heard coyotes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was about the same time period of night.
Yeah, they would have been showing up right around that time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't hear them this time.
But yeah, I'm not saying I'm an expert at anything, but I definitely get a little different perspective of it. But the whole time up to basically the whole voice, the first time we heard it, really didn't have any of I guess a scare factor at that point. I really didn't actually. I was like, we're walking up and down the road. I got a lot of steps in, kind of thing.
Yep.
Really, and exercise for the day. But when I heard that, it kind of got me a little bit, because it's just like, that was not a normal sound you'd be hearing out there. That was the thing that kind of got me. I mean, I have heard frogs and toads and all the different kinds of stuff. But that kind of got me a little bit. I'm sitting there, and the thing is that it wasn't just once, but the second time, and that kind of got me a little leery. Like, like your little pep, your little swift walk there. Yeah, I definitely wanted to start doing that, a little bit. But it was just that. It definitely got me. It was something very simple like that, where you would not expect it.
So the light going across the road?
That kind of like, it was more.
Was that more intriguing than anything?
It was intriguing.
Okay.
I was not, the fear factor was not there. It was just more of like, I actually thought it was kind of cool that we all three of it saw it.
Right.
I didn't know it was more of like a reflection off of seeing something, but it was quick right there. We all were right away saying we all saw that, and we confirmed with every single one of us. So it was definitely not, oh, hey, I saw a light. Well, I didn't see it either. But
right.
I thought that was really
you're
cool.
A liar.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really cool, but no, like I said, the fear factor,
is when
the
it
fear
stepped
factor
in.
definitely did it, because I actually stood there while you guys were talking. I just stood there and stared. I just stared over there just to see,
if
and because the
motion or
thing is,
something.
like I said, it just happened in the same spot twice.
Yeah.
Exactly the same spot. It didn't follow. It just stayed right there. So it's just like, and it was just, I don't know, but yeah. It's,
just a side note. If it was some sort of ghost or some sort of non-human entity, what a fuckhead for saying yep in fucking Wisconsin.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, who,
like what is that's a straight up Wisconsin ghost if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
It's next to saying oh yeah, like that's what you're a fucking ghost from Wisconsin at that point. Like yep.
But also, I mean, who would just be, even if it was a person, who would just be standing out there just going yep. Like, but that's what I'm saying. That's where it definitely kind
where
of
it was, and I'm sure that field was, probably not as flooded, but it was probably still pretty flooded.
Yeah. Oh no, over there was definitely a little bit. There was a little cul-de-sac over there, so it definitely had a graded where water would have been down there. But I'm just saying, like, who at that time of night on this day is just gonna be like, hey, let's just stand here and wait for these dudes to walk by and say yep. I mean,
Of all things.
I mean, if that's the case, we better be buying lottery tickets because we're gonna be millionaires here very shortly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the odds
or dead.
or dead.
or
I mean, the odds of that, and like I said, that's not a normal sound you would be hearing from the country. I'm sorry. I mean, the whole time we walked up and down, we didn't hear it one time. We walked up and down that road multiple times, and just magically when it turned that dark.
Yeah.
We hear it like really. I'm sorry, but that got me. That definitely
What
did.
about the lights at the end of the night then? The Hellfire lights.
The Hellfire? I still say it was a truck.
You still say
I
it was
still
that?
say
You still
I
say it was
believe
those
I
fuckers that
believe
just-
that I will either that or I believe that he was either one of those teenagers or just somebody that was coming down that road. Especially being farmland out there, you'd be very surprised that a lot of people just you see trucks all the time. It's farmland. I mean, it's Wisconsin. You see trucks everywhere.
Yeah.
But I believe all it was is that they pulled into that road, and I understand what you're saying about it doesn't have enough time or not enough space to actually do a whip around or a Y turn. But I believe they barely pulled in there, and from the distance that we were looking at, it might have looked like they were on that road for a little bit.
You're saying that
they pulled in there and like, oh hey, this isn't the road we need to turn around, and then they just backed up and then just kept going. So I believe that's what it was, is more we caught part of it, and then when they turned, we got more of the high beams of hey, what's going on here.
Yeah.
It looked like there were, I believe I saw multiple lights. It wasn't like just one solid light. I believe at the get-go, it did look like there was at least 2 to 3 different lights up at the top, and that's why I believe it was actually just lights on the top of a truck. Well,
You're wrong because the two of us saw it, and you're the minority in this situation. So it's
we
Hellfire.
saw fucking Hellfire.
It's Hellfire.
yeah.
No, and that's one of the things. Like that's one of the reasons why we like to bring guests on and stuff like that because, the part 2, the imp, or Frank had a really good theory about what was following you guys. In the bushes, and it's we like having other people on here because it's not just like Jake and I were out there like, yep, fucking Hellfire. Nope.
Different perspectives, different ideas,
Different
all the
perspectives.
definitely.
So no, it's who knows? I mean, I didn't hear the yep yep as much as you guys did. I heard it in my head. I didn't even hear distinct words. I just heard I heard a weird noise that wasn't so much. It just didn't sound like the frogs. I didn't distinctly hear yep yep, but it's just again different perspectives and So that was our last visit to Weary Road, and I so hope to God it is our last visit to Weary Road.
I mean, honestly, if we're going to go back again to do any sort of investigation again, we'll have to do it 3 times again. Because clearly that third time, I mean, the first 2 times were fun. I think what it was is the first time we didn't experience anything. It was fun. It was cool. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. You didn't slow the car down at all.
True.
The second time, Frank and I did the walk. Something followed us. We got those pictures. The third time, we got lights. We got sounds. I mean, it was a bunch of stuff.
There was still no apparitions either. So
no,
that
no
would have been.
apparitions. And the one thing we didn't do this time was we stopped the car on the bridge, but we didn't do the whole stop the car,
Look in the mirror.
In
all honesty, I completely, with everything else that was
I completely
happening.
forgot about that. I just looked at the side. I looked at the side ones. That's where I saw the headlights.
Yeah.
But I didn't check out the rear view.
But with everything that happened, I was like, yep, we're good.
Yep. We were almost off
content.
Weary Road when I was like, oh, we forgot to do the thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget. I just wasn't going to mention it.
God damn it. Not professional.
Well, you see some shitty lights and things go
Some
awry.
Hellfire.
I don't need to cap it off with seeing a fucking apparition.
Plus,
show
you were
up
in the back seat. That's where you're supposed to end up.
Well, yeah, I would have died first. So, or gotten buttholes touched first. I mean, yeah. Well, so that I think about does it for the Weary Road saga.
Yeah, that was fun.
Aaron, thank you for joining us on this tail end of the journey.
I'm glad to be there. It was fun.
It was
a nice night out, actually. It was
It
beautiful.
was fun.
It started off as a nice night. I mean, like the way sunsets are nice. It started off really well. It wasn't nice in the sense of fucking ghosts and creepy shit.
It was fun.
It wasn't.
See, this is the fun that I'm excited for.
So yeah, that's tonight's episode or today's episode, whatever time you designate yourself to listen to
This
them.
time's episode.
It's this time's episode is done. A couple house cleaning stuffs before we end here.
Get the broom, start cleaning.
We got all the social stuffs: Facebook, Snapchat, Twitters, Christian Mingle,
Plenty of fish.
Grindr, Tinder,
Farmers only.
Farmers Only,
The usuals.
Mountain Men Meetup.
Oh, that's a new one.
That's a new one. I just signed us up for Mountain Men Meetup.
I don't know if I'm hairy enough for that one.
Well, it's a Bears Club.
Fair enough.
So again, Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Oh, and we have a Gmail.
Oh yeah, I always forget the Gmail.
Fuck email.
Yeah, everybody, nope.
We gotta get
Here's the thing: if you want to get in touch with us, just write us a letter. And
We need a
look
fax.
Look at my address. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us. Cause
Nick's getting a stalker.
Yep, that
Confirmed
email
hard.
is.
That's the reason why that girl put her number down. She knew.
Oh man,
Damn, she wanted us to text her. Damn it.
I already tried to bring that up, and you shot that down. So
Yeah,
why are
well,
you making jokes about that?
Because it's
He
funny.
wants to. That's why.
I don't
Is
think he
that
does.
he's
It's
like
funny.
I
He's
don't
the one
know.
who shot the idea down in the first place.
Because he kept it for himself.
I did. I wrote it down
On your hand.
on my
That's
hand.
that's when you text her here about like 2 hours at the witching hour and make sure you send it be like, so
Hey, so you're a witch, right?
saw your number on the road.
Well, that about does it for
yeah, that's it
today,
this time. We
This
should stop
episode.
now.
Yep. And I'm still trying out this new ending line, the sign off. This state is creepier than we know. Bye, Jake.
Bye, Nick.
Bye, Aaron.
See ya.